See, the structure is very simple that when you join, basically it will start with a kind of a common induction into topics which are related to everything, in the sense that you will be taught what films are in general, what the history of cinema is, etc., all that, and then slowly you start specializing in your area, which is camera. In cinematography, we have taken care to not forget the celluloid world. So we do introduce cinema actually through the traditional optical process, photo-optical process. And from photo-optical process, once you clearly understand how the earlier system of film development and celluloid making used to happen, chemically, etc., we then take you onto the digital platform. And within the digital also, we start with very simple platforms till you understand the state of the art now, which is, when you're shooting on Alexa or Red or any of these high-end cameras and shooting on 4K and 2K. Actually, you need to know the origins and the basics before you can actually produce good images. Now, this is like the process of becoming a cameraman involves not only understanding how a camera functions, but also how optics function, lenses. Then you have sensitometry, which means how you measure light. Densitometry is how you measure. Earlier it used to be when densitometry involved measuring the negative density. Now densitometry involves understanding saturation and resolution in digital media. Then you have the very, very complicated technical aspect of understanding laboratory processes and understanding the equivalent of laboratory processes, which are now called DI, which is color correction, and what are the methodologies by which you can do color correction. What is color space, and what are the different ways in which you can manipulate color space. So a whole lot of these technical inputs keep coming in, but we don't leave you with only technical inputs. As we told you, we are interested in your holistic development. So we also develop your aesthetic understanding of what is a good visual, for which we give you intensive lessons in visual literacy, in history of visual arts, and we develop your sensibilities in understanding the world of the visual media itself, within which you will function as a cinematographer. And the job of the cinematographer is different from the job of the photographer. See, he is taking photos right now. Okay. Is he thinking like a cinematographer? Because a cinematographer is not only taking a picture, he is creating an image. And we make you understand the difference between a picture and an image. Because an image is something, an impression, which ideally no one should be able to forget in one's life. That development of image making and your ability to understand how images contribute to storytelling and creating film experiences, which means you need to understand the deep connection between what you do as a cinematographer to the art of storytelling and filmmaking. So there's one thing which is called good photography, and there's another thing called cinematography, which need not be good in pictorially, but will be correct for the film. So it goes from very simple ideas and eventually reaches levels where you are talking and thinking about the act of cinematography more as a philosopher and a thinker than a craftsman. That's our approach. In the process, there are many exercises that you have to do. A lot of lighting practicals, shooting floor practicals which involve operational skills, a lot of field trips to various laboratories, etc., DI processes. But the most important thing is where you start collaborating with your fellow directors and your other team members to do your group exercises. The first group exercise I think that you do is the mise en scène exercise, which is the 3-minute or 5-minute long take exercise. Then after that, so you have to take a 5-minute shot in mise en scène without making a cut. Okay. Then you have the next group exercise is, I think, the documentary exercise, where you go out and shoot a documentary. And the third one is, I think, the dialogue exercise, indoor dialogue exercise, which is also for sound to get an experience of. Earlier in the documentary, they got an experience of shooting, recording sync sound in exteriors or in uncontrolled circumstances. And the other is in dialogue, they get an input in how to record sound in controlled indoor conditions. And for cameramen, it's a lighting exercise, etc. For direction students, it's so that's a 3 to 5 minute, I think, dialogue exercise, which then is a kind of curtain raiser to the final film, which is a diploma film, which will be a 15-minute film shot on HD. In terms of percentage, I would say camera especially is very, very practical heavy, in the sense that if you were to ask me to give you a percentage, I would say it will definitely be something in the range of 70-30. 70% practical and 30% theoretical input, but those theoretical inputs are very crucial for us. Because cameramen have a tendency, to only be practice oriented. They don't want theory. They just want to do lighting practicals. They just want to keep shooting. But we have a philosophy where we say, think before you shoot. Think, because thinking is the primary activity of filming. Don't shoot like a mad person, just going on shooting. The more you think, the better your lighting will be. Lighting is a very, very difficult, at the same time, it's a fantastic art form. It takes a lot of time to learn lighting properly. And lighting and lensing and color correction and framing and composition and camera movement, all of it combines together to make one shot. And like that, you have to take thousands of shots which come together to make one film.